In this three-part video series, you will discover the simplest and smoothest way to attract new clients into your business. It's less about a secret sauce, and it's more about a deliberate, strategic shift in the way you approach your business. The outline is simple, but it will require some effort for you to customize it for your business situation. Therefore, this video series is not for get-rich-quick opportunity seekers, lazy wantrepreneurs, or fatigued, last-ditch effort business owners. This video series is for ambitious entrepreneurs, seasoned business owners, and passionate high-level experts. Hi, my name is Alzay Calhoun, and I'm the founder of Coveted Consultant, and I'll be your MC throughout this video series. My company has an ambition. It's to permanently elevate the training standard for how to build an advice business. We transform intelligent, technically oriented, stalled business leaders into insightful, inspired business architects who consistently produce a wow experience for their clients. In other words, the existing training for how to build an advice business, in my opinion, is terrible. There's too much short-term focus. There are too many overpromises with under delivering, and it doesn't give you a strategic long-term approach, a realistic approach for what it means to build a great business. And if you've got expertise, if you have an excellent high-level service, you have to learn how to translate what you do into a wow experience for clients. People have to be excited about what you have created. And until you make that transition, turning what you know into something exciting for clients, then you're going to have trouble growing in your business. So it's this battle between conventional methods and coveted methods. And so conventional wisdom creates conventional companies. A lot of Me Too strategies, look-alike strategies, and basically boring businesses. But on the other side, there's this coveted wisdom. And coveted wisdom creates coveted companies, unique, highly valued companies that customers are excited to work with. And in my business, those are the clients I want to work with. You may not be a coveted company today, but that is your aspiration. That's what you're working towards. And so whether you are a coveted company looking to tighten how you do business, or you aspire to create a coveted company, you're in the right place. Now, today's video is about locating your best client. That's today's focus. Now, what does best mean? So let's define best client. That this is the client that loves your business so much they continue to return to you no matter the competition and regardless of the cost. That is how you define best client. Now, how do you find these people? If you can determine who it is that you should be targeting, and you can find a way, and you know what you have to offer them, how do you find these people? How do you locate them? So now here's myth number one in regards to how you locate these people. Number one, they don't exist. I have people tell me all the time that, my perfect client doesn't exist. I have to beg and plead to get clients. I have to educate, and educate. I have to wrestle them down and wrestle the money from them. The best client doesn't exist. Myth number two, they won't pay big dollars. So this is the assumption that my clients will only pay for little books, but they won't pay for larger programs. They'll pay for smaller services, but they won't pay. They don't value the higher value programs, the higher value offering. The money just isn't there. Alzay is what some tell me. Myth number three is I should be able to acquire them for free. So I can use free strategies, I can do referral only, or I can build SEO strategies, or I can use these other methods to get clients, these best clients. I can get them for free. So now it's time to do some myth busting, and it's time for the big reveal. Now, I put out an offer to challenge me to my existing audience, and I said, I will create training videos that will focus on how to find clients for any niche you give me. You can make up a niche, or you can give me your existing niche, and I'll create a video series around that niche. So all of the results have come in, and I picked a final choice. And so the final choice is the elementary teacher market, grades 4 through 8, and that's the email that I received. And you can see there's the date. It was September 11th, which is 6 days ago at the recording of this video, and there it is right there. Okay, so this person is trying to sell programs and services to elementary school teachers in grades 4 through 8. How do you find them? Here we go. So now here's question number 1 that you've got to ask yourself in your business. How much do you know about your best client? And so that there's 2 categories for answers there. One is the demographics, things like age, gender, marital status, and zip code. On the other hand, there's psychographics, what this person likes and dislikes, about their goals and dreams, about their fears and concerns. Do you know what they do for leisure activities? My first statement to you, my first challenge to you is that you've got to know both sides of this equation. You can't just know their psychographics, and you can't just know their demographics. You've got to know both. You have to have an understanding for both. And the question is, do you actually have both? So now, here's how you answer that. Introducing a tool called Quantcast, and I'm going to walk you through it right now. So before we actually get into the tool itself, let me just show you how I got there. So I went to Google and I typed in resources for elementary school teacher. And I did a typical standard Google search, nothing outstanding here. And what I'm looking for are the big competitors in this niche. In every niche, there are major players. There are big brands. There are larger companies. And you want to leverage their resource to help make you smarter about your business. And so never assume, by the way, that you are the only player in a given niche. There's always major players that either do exactly what you do or are doing something related to what you do. Find those people, right? Find out who already exists in that niche. So that's what we're doing right now, and we're looking for major players. So I found a couple of resources here. One was this resource here for proteacher.com, teaching ideas and resources for elementary school teachers. And then the second one was this Pinterest post, elementary teacher resources. Now I could do more research and find even more, but just to keep things simple, I stopped right here. So here's what ProTeacher looks like. ProTeacher.com is a directory site that brings a lot of different tools together. You see network support, teacher blogs, lesson planning, behavior management, child development, emotional special needs, and etc. So it's a portal for many places. Okay, that's fine. Then I found this Pinterest post, right? So this Pinterest post was posted at a site called Edudemic, where it's connecting education and technology. So another resource all to itself, just this website. But this specific post gives us the top 20 websites every teacher should know at the elementary level. Look at that, right? More specific data for us. So there's 20 some odd sites here, right? There's number 1, there's number 10, and I'll scroll down to the bottom here, and there's number 20. So they just give you some resources that are good for elementary school teachers. Excellent. We're going to come back to that in just a second. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab ProTeacher. We're going to copy that URL, and we're going to put it inside this tool called Quantcast. And so we're going to type it in there. We're going to hit the search button, and got a little error there, so we'll do it again. And here we are. So Quantcast essentially is a tracking tool that gives you information for the most popular sites on the web. So they've got a ranking system here, and this one is ranked 36,192. The rank does not matter to you right now. What matters is that it gives you data. So this is the ProTeacher Community Network. There's a whole lot of information here. We're going to focus on the part that's most important right now. What we're looking for is demographic data. So if we scroll down the page here, look what we've just found. U.S. demographics. So this data below is telling us the people who search at this site, the people that visit this site, is telling us who they are. So again, let's keep this simple. In each of these sections, there's this dotted line here, and the dotted line represents the U.S. average right here. See, U.S. average. And so anything extending beyond this line is representative of a greater frequency over and above the U.S. average. Anything below the line is less frequency than the U.S. average. So for this website, the people that visit this site are predominantly female and over and above the U.S. average. So there are a lot of females that visit this site. Let's continue. So you'll see here that there's extension right here as far as the age group, in which it begins at 25 and ends at 54. So we know that they're female and they're in this age bracket. There's a lot of people that come to this site that have kids versus not having kids. That's good to know. Then we talk about how much money they make. So there's a little bit of extension here, somewhere between $50,000 and $150,000 a year. Great. There is a strong relationship with graduate school education. So the people that come to this website are female, they're in this age bracket, they have children, they make money generally in this amount, and they have a grad school education. Why is that? Why is grad school education specifically important for this niche? These are people who have invested in their own individual education. They already understand the value of education. Now, you could make that assumption, given that we're talking about school teachers, but this gives us empirical data to point to, right? Is that these people believe in their education. That's important because if you're selling education, if you're selling training material, if you're selling services to help them solve their problems in the classroom, then we already know that they've bought into their education. They believe in education. It's an easier sell, right? And so comparative to the U.S. average, there's a slight propensity here for the audience to be Caucasian. So you've got an entire profile here of who visits one of the more popular sites for school teachers. Now, just for disclaimer, this is not the holy grail of data. So it's not perfect data, but it does indeed give you, for free, it gives you a sense of who visits one of the more competitive sites on the web for your niche. Okay, so we just looked at Quantcast, and Quantcast gave us some immediate demographic data and began to give us a little sense of what they care about, right? Some of their preferences. So now we're going to go to question number 2: is do they buy anything? So now it's we have a sense of who they are and a sense of what they're interested in, but now where do they put their money? What do they choose to invest in, if anything? So here's some places to start. Are there books that they buy? Are there movies that they watch? Maybe software that they purchase? Certain clothing or attire that they invest in? Do they invest in training programs? Are there high-profile experts that they may follow, like people who are in the media? Are there high-level consultants that may either consult them personally or consult their organization? Or are there major studies like government studies or privately funded studies in this niche? We're just trying to figure out where the money flows in regards to elementary school teachers in the grades 4 through 8. So bottom line, do they buy anything? So to answer that question, we're going to go to a tool called Amazon. We're going to go to Amazon.com. We're going there now. Okay, so right now I'm in Amazon, and you've been here before. So I went to Amazon.com. I typed in school teacher. I chose the book selection, and I sorted these results by new and popular. So what I'm looking at is, where do teachers spend their money? If teachers are trying to be better teachers, on what topics are they spending their money, and on what kinds of things are they spending their money? I'm choosing books because books are they're very descriptive in regards to what the topics and subjects are, and they help us understand the major pain points for a given niche. So again, nothing complex here. Amazon.com, school teacher, sort by new and popular. Here we go. So everything everything that we find in this list may not be immediately relevant. So we got to scroll a little bit and kind of see what comes up. So this is Kaplan stuff, a book called Wonder, that that may not fit. Human anatomy and physiology, that doesn't fit where we are. But let's just keep scrolling here, see what we find. We find one book that's called How Children Succeed: Grit, Curiosity, and the Hidden Power of Character. Now, is that something that a teacher would look into? I think so. So this book was written July 2nd, or that's when it was released. So it's a recent book, and it's got 335 reviews. Why is that so important? And it's got a 4.5-star rating. And so why is that so important? Because you can only review a book that you've read. And you can only read a book, or for most folks, you read books that you've purchased already. So these are 335 people that have bought the book, spent time to read the book, and then came back to the site and posted a review. These are invested people. They actually care about how children succeed. It's a great place to start, right? So let's keep going, see if we find any others. Didn't find any more here that are relevant. We'll go to the next page. We're just scrolling to see if we find relevant titles. So how to win friends and influence people that may not fit. So we're gonna keep scrolling. Here's another. The Smartest Kids in the World and How They Got That Way. This book was written published August 13th. So about a month ago, it already has 40 reviews and a 4.5-star rating. People care about this topic, right? Okay. So let's keep going. We'll scroll a little further. How about Teach Like a Champion? 49 techniques that put students on the path to college, K through 12. This book was written in 2010, so that was about 3 years ago, and it's got 239 reviews and a 4.5-star rating. People care about this topic. So we're now being introduced to where money's being spent and on what topics the money's being spent. So now we're getting into some of that psychographic data, right? What they care about, right? Okay. So now let's do a little bit more research on some of these titles. So we'll click through them quickly. Here's a book that I found in that same list, The First Days of School: How to Be an Effective Teacher. So what you want to do here is this one has 205 reviews, by the way, 4.5-star rating, and it was written by a gentleman named Harry Wong. So we're going to want to look him up. Here are some others. How Children Succeed. We looked at that one, 335. Paul Tough is the author here. We're going to want to look him up. It's another. Smartest Kids in the World. We talked about that one. 40 reviews. Amanda Ripley. We'll want to look her up. Teach Like a Champion. Doug Lemov. We'll want to look him up, etc. Right? So here's elementary and middle school mathematics. 17 reviews, right? These are people we'll want to look up. Words Their Way, other teaching style books, right? So here are some short examples of what happens when you look the people up in Google. So Paul Tough wrote a book. We just found him. How Children Succeed. He is a writer and a speaker. So you can't make a living as a writer or a speaker unless somebody wants what you write and someone wants what he has to say, right? Wants to hear what he has to say. So again, he's making a living doing this, right? He is someone that people in this niche are following. That's the point. We have found at least one person that people in this niche are following and they listen to. Okay? Let's keep going. So this gentleman from Uncommon Schools, and this is Mr. Doug Lemov. He's the managing director of this Uncommon Schools organization. They work with charter schools, right? Now, charter schools only work if they're funded. So again, there's money flowing in the charter school direction. So there's more insight there. Here's another. Harry K. Wong, if you recall seeing his name a little earlier, he has a whole suite of products. He's got CDs, he's got e-learning, he's got a classroom management action plan. He's selling material, helping teachers be better teachers, right? So there is a marketplace here, is what we've proven. We've proven that they buy things. We see things are being sold. These are successful authors who are people are buying their material and responding and they're liking it. There is a marketplace here. We've just proven it. So now let's keep going. So that was Amazon. What's valuable about Amazon is that Amazon is a buyer's marketplace. So things are being sold on Amazon and people are buying things on Amazon. And so things that are highly ranked in Amazon are things that are being purchased. And that's what makes Amazon such a powerful research tool, because it tells us, again, very quickly and for free what the most interesting topics are for those who make purchases. So now we know what they buy. Okay, so let's go to question number 3. Is, can you locate them in mass? So you may still say, okay, Alzay, I know a little bit about this best client of mine. I have an idea of who they are. I have an idea of what they purchase. But now I need to be able to find these people in groups at a time so I can make sales at a time. I completely respect that. So let's think about some annual events. Let's think about some local meetups. Let's think about big conventions that may exist. Let's think about some message boards where teachers may go to find resources to be better teachers. Some forums that they may subscribe to, or some social media outlets where they may group up. Now, for brevity in this video, I won't go through all of these. I'll just point to one major tool that I think will take you a very long way if you commit to it, and that is Facebook. So let's go to Facebook right now. Okay, so right now I am in Facebook. You see the familiar F right there, and I am in the ad platform, the advertising platform of Facebook. And so let me show you how to get here very quickly. If you go down to the bottom of this page, and hopefully you can see it, at the bottom of this page there is a create ad button. So you can go to any page in Facebook, go down here to create ad, and you can create an ad. And so you can get to this area. So let me start you back at the top here and walk you through very briefly. So I'm going to focus on the point that matters. You can choose to advertise a number of different things. We're going to just stay focused right now. So let's say you want to send advertisements to, or send people to, a very specific page on your site. You would include that site there. You'd give it a headline. You'd give it text. You'd give it an image. Okay, so we're going to assume that all of that is in place. What we're trying to focus on right now is finding these people in numbers, right? So here we go. We're going to create your audience. So we're going to focus only in the U.S. We're going to focus on the ages 25 to 54. Where did I get that from? I got that from the data that we pulled from Quantcast, right? So those numbers come right from that. Now I can target all men or women. Well, we learned that the majority of the audience is female. We learned that from Quantcast. So I'm going to click that right there. So I'm going to keep scrolling down here, and I get into precise interests. So we're looking at a site called FunBrain, Scholastic Teachers, Sesame Street. So where did I get these three things from? These three things from? They came from the. As a matter of fact, let me show you. Do you remember that Pinterest post that I pointed to, and I said we're going to use this later for research? Exactly. So there's FunBrain, right? And there's Sesame Street, and there's Scholastic. So people who like these sites are probably elementary level teachers. I think that's a fair assumption. So let's continue. So they have precise interests inside Facebook. These are people who have said that they liked these things. So they've self-selected, right? And again, any person that likes Sesame Street who's 25 to 54 is probably a teacher, right? Okay, let's keep going. So I typed in elementary school teacher or preschool teacher. Actually, I started by typing in elementary school teacher, and it gave me this. So I typed in elementary school teacher all by itself. It gave me this. Elementary teacher. It gave me that. So these are all, and if I wanted to continue, I could. Sometimes you get some relevant Dora the Explorer. Maybe someone who is 25 to 54 who likes Dora the Explorer, you may know to also like, or to also be a teacher, etc. Right? So these are precise interests. People that like this stuff, or as I pointed to these things right here, have self-selected a given job title. So in this, for precise interest, you can not only choose their interest, but also select by job title. A lot of power there. All right. So we'll keep going down here. There's some other options that you can choose to select, but you really don't have to. You've done the heavy lifting already. So interested in doesn't mean much to you. relationship status, perhaps that may affect, or maybe one of the things that you learned about your best client earlier in the process. If they have any indication, or I'm sorry, any education, what do we learn about that? We learned that they were at least college graduates, right? So we can click that in, and we can select go to a certain college or a certain field of study, or work at a certain kind of school district in a certain part of the country, or educational organization. These are all options here. So here's what we found. When we click in all of those different choices, we found an audience size of 300,000 people. We just found 300,000 people that fit the profile for being an elementary school teacher. Now the question is now with this level of targeting, can you find the right kind of people that want your high value service? They're right here. There are 300,000, and this is not a niche that I'm familiar with. This is just the research that I've done following a very straightforward strategic process. And look at the number of people that we found. If you advertise effectively, can you find a return here? That question is yours to answer. So just using Facebook can put you in front of hundreds of thousands of people that are interested in what you have to offer if you've done the right kinds of research. So in my opinion, part one of the challenge has been defeated. The question was, Alzay, can you find people that fit in my niche? Absolutely. And I just showed you the process so you can do it yourself. Now it's time for you to chew on what you've seen. In regards to locating new clients, where are you weak? Do you know their demographics and their psychographics? Do you know what they buy? Can you locate them in mass? Which of these questions do you have the fuzziest answer to? Where are you clear and where are you unclear? My challenge to you is to go beyond your gut. Go beyond the assumptions that you've been carrying, that you think you know who your best client is and you think you know where they are. Commit to some good, solid, simple research to find some clear insights to act upon. You've been given precise direction. I just showed you exactly how to do it. So really at this point it's about applying, application. You've seen the process, you know how it works. My challenge to you is to actually apply. Use what you've just seen. If you've got a question or a comment, you can send me an email. There's a link below the video, and you can just send me an email with a question or a comment. Good job, or Alzay, I want to see more of this or less of that. I'm open to all of it. So at this point, it's time to go do something. Go do something. The next video that I'm going to send out is going to talk about how to convert those prospective clients now that you know how to locate them. But you can't convert people if you don't know where to find them. So do your research to figure out where they are, and then I'll see you in the next video and we'll talk about how to convert them. See you soon.